Hey, purposeful parents and elite educators. Welcome back to another video. Today's video is all about helping older children to read. This is the second video in this series installment. If you have younger children, then I recommend that you watch the first video, How to Help Your Child to Read. Or I think it's called How to Teach Your Child to Read. So yeah, check that out if you have older children, because today's video is all about the tweens and the teens. So stay tuned if that is something that you definitely need help with. I'll see you soon. So, welcome to this video all about helping older children to read. I want to quickly introduce myself. My name is Kimberly Deneen, and I'm with Education Noir, where we help you with the best tips and tools to level up your practice for student growth and achievement. And today's video is all about parents. And if you notice, I have on my cat ears because I'm at school still, and today we have a huge Halloween festival. So I dressed up kind of like a cat today, and my mask has like little cat face on it. So anyway, don't mind my cat ears. So studies show, oh, by the way, I do have notes. So I have my notes, so you'll be seeing me look at my notes from time to time. Studies show that children read less and less for fun as they get older. And this video is all about how you can help your tweens and your teens appreciate reading, even when they are attached to their cell phones. It's difficult, but it can be done. So let's get into number one. Number one is offer choices. So sometimes this will be hard to do in school because sometimes there are set books that students have to read for their English language arts classes, for history, and all these other classes. However, at home, they can have more choice. Graphic novels may be a great way to trigger their interest in more topics. It may trigger their interest in reading some of the classic books. But something that people used to say when my son was younger is like, he should be reading chapter books, and this looks like a baby book. Don't do that. Reading, whatever it may be, if it's a graphic novel, if it's a comic book, some type of a magazine for children, like all of it is helpful, all of it is useful, all of it is beneficial. So definitely don't criticize. Let them choose. Provide a variety of books in your home, and we'll talk about that one in just a second. But graphic novels are very, very popular right now with girls and boys. And graphic novels, actually, if you take a look at some of these graphic novels, even though they have pictures, there's a lot of deep and relevant content in these books. So don't discount graphic novels, but definitely offer them a variety of books and a variety of types of books. Number two, build a Nook. Who doesn't want to sit in a comfy and cozy place to snuggle up with a book. I still want to do that. I'm 51. Provide a comfortable and attractive place to read. Put a bookshelf of interesting titles under a window seat, or create a library in the corner of the living room. Just because they're older doesn't mean that there's no library in the home. So, create one in the basement. If the basement is a nice, comfy place, definitely continue to build a library for your tween and your teen. Number 3, watch movies. I know, it's not reading. I get it. But if you pick a movie that's based on a book, it helps maintain sensible limits on screen time, for one, because think about it, we've just been through a serious pandemic, and students are getting so much screen time. But showing them a movie based on a book helps put a limit on that screen time. It also encourages reading and other offline activities. So when you've watched the movie, you can then discuss the movie. You can discuss the plot. You can discuss the characters of the movie. You can even talk about another possible ending to that movie. All of these things encourage critical thinking. So when I was going through my reading specialist postgraduate certification, one of the books we had to read was called From Striving to Thriving. I think that's the name of the book. But the one thing that I really took away that they kind of talked about a lot is reading is thinking. Reading is thinking. And the other thing they said was reading is social. Because when you read a good book, you kind of want to talk about it to someone. You want to kind of tell them about the book. Maybe not give a spoiler alert or, spoil the book, the ending. But you kind of want to talk about it. So definitely talk about the movie and the parts of the movie and how would it have been if it ended a different way. So all of these build their critical thinking skills. Number 4 is be a role model. Let them see you reading for pleasure. Your kids are more likely to read if they see you enjoying books and magazines. So make reading for fun a part of your day, and talk about what you've learned, talk about what you're reading. Here at school, I always include what I'm currently reading on my slideshows. So the students can, and I say, this is what I'm currently reading, ask me about it. So I'm modeling that even for my students, that I read outside of school. So do that for your kids. It's really powerful for them to see you actually reading for fun. If you're just saying, you need to read for pleasure, but they never see you doing it, that's kind of like, you want me to read for pleasure, but you don't read for pleasure? Like, something's wrong with this picture. So definitely let them see you reading and enjoying reading. Number 5, continue to read together. So I talked about this in the last video. I continue to read nightly during the weeknights. The weekends, I kind of just, let him do the things he really wanted to do. But Monday through Thursday, we still had our nightly routine of reading. And even though he was in middle school, I probably did this with him up until eighth grade. We would choose a book. I would read a chapter. He would read a chapter. We would talk about it. We did this each night. This was our routine. Why do we stop reading when kids get older? We should still be reading together. I'm 51 and I still enjoy someone reading aloud to me. So continue to read with your tween and your teen. Number 6, look for books at your tween or your teen's reading level. So again, that kind of falls in line with what I said earlier about criticizing. Like, the thing is, if a child cannot access what they're reading, they're going to get frustrated and they're going to want to give up. So find things at your child's reading level. And if you don't know your child's reading level, that's as simple as an email to their English language arts teacher. Maybe even their school counselor can provide that information for you. And you can also, that strategy that was on the picture before I started this segment, the 5. So if they only have one, like they open to a page, they skim through the page. If there's only one word that they don't know, then they're good. But if there are 3 or more words on that one page that they don't know, then they want to try to find something else. There's other things that you can also do. You can let them choose audiobooks. Like audiobooks, even though you're not like physically reading, like your mind is still doing the imagery and the thinking that goes into reading. And audiobooks are a great way for them to access literature. There's also assistive technology. Microsoft Word has something called Immersive Reader, which is really good because it points out all kinds of things about the reading. It can point out verbs, nouns, adverbs. It can also define words. It can change the language if you wanted to, read to you in French. It's really, really interactive. And at my previous school, I know the students really liked working with Immersive Reader. And there's also text-to-speech. Text-to-speech is also a great assistive technology tool to also help your child with reading better. Number 7, find compelling stories to get them hooked, right? Help them find a series that they like. My son, his series were Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, any type of anime. He was all about it. But find some series that, he also liked Captain Underpants too. That one he enjoyed as well. But find a series that they like. The thing about it is when they can follow familiar characters and themes through a series, it makes starting a new book less daunting. It also helps them understand what they're reading better. So definitely find them a series to get hooked into. We used to go to the bookstore, Books a Million, and he would always choose like a new comic book or a new series for like Naruto or Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon. He loved that too. But taking him there and getting something for him, he enjoyed going to the bookstore. I know sometimes it's hard to do that now because there are fewer and fewer bookstores, unfortunately. but take them to the library. They can find a lot of these things right at the library. So find compelling stories, help them with that. Number 8, connect reading to their passion. You can encourage them to stay engaged by looking for ways to connect reading to subjects that are relevant to them. So my son became extremely interested in art, and he decided he wanted to become an artist. So we would look for books like how to draw, how to paint, or how to draw hands, how to draw a face. So those are books those how-to books were really interesting to him. So I helped him discover those books. Number 9, and before I get into this, if you're getting value out of this video, please tap that like button and definitely subscribe. Number 9, tie reading to social media. So if your child likes texting and posting on social networks, and at this point nowadays, what child doesn't? What tween or teen doesn't? They all love social media. Well, what you can do is use it to your advantage. You can encourage them to follow a blog, or you can encourage them to read a post out loud and discuss that with them. So use social media to your advantage. Number 10, seek professional help. So if you have a genuine concern about your child's reading, you definitely want to talk with their teacher, and you can even talk to their doctor. They may have a learning disability and may benefit from additional resources. So some of the additional resources may look like tutoring. Most public schools have free after-school tutoring. And then there are more intensive instruction systems that schools have in place, like what I do, which is I'm a reading specialist. And what reading specialists do is they first of all, it's kind of like a prescription, if so to speak. So we look at the history, and then we may do our own informal reading inventory, and then we prescribe the best way to assist the child. And we also work with their teacher. So all public schools, most of them have reading specialists. Sometimes high schools don't, but they may have an instructional coach who can work with their English language arts teacher to assist with some more intensive instruction. So these are the 10 ways that you can help your teen, your tween read or read better. And my thing is this: you were your child's first teacher, right? More than likely, you were their first teacher, and you still are. So you can help your child read or read better. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.